Well, greetings sports fans. Today is your lucky day. Another video by Johnny Cirucci because I was inspired. I'm sitting here. I just finished my latest reading of Illuminati Unmasked. It's already up on my Blog Talk radio channel, Resistance Rising. I'm in the process of creating a video version for you, complete with appropriate pictures for what I'm reading about. It's very time intensive, but I enjoy the finished product, and I think you do too. Take a break, sit down, eat my dinner, and I got to have something going on in the background. I need information, and hopefully it's information that's not going to aggravate me. I get a notification that my good friend, my dear friend, Judith Quoba of Night Flight, has a new video out. Don't get your hopes up about Ghislaine Maxwell. Definitely. Let me go to Judith and see what she's, and I'm so glad I did. Excellent breakdown. Excellent breakdown. I'm going to add my own impressions based on my study and what I focus on. First of all, I didn't realize this. Judith pointed out, brilliant. This indictment, which is available online, but as a PDF picture, a JPEG. And the problem with that is, I'll put it up for you. The problem with that is you can see my cursor is not picking up any of the words. We call this optical character recognition, or OCR. So the indictment, coming directly from the United States Justice Department, Southern District of New York. You can grab it, it's poor quality, and you can't word search it. Well, I have the ability to do that. I have the OCR copy. If you need it, let me know. And that's what I did. And this is the first thing that Judith pointed out that I thought was brilliant. The indictment only spans the very narrow time period of 1994 through 1997. Nothing before or after. Why? As Judith so well pointed out, this allows a whole host of child predator scum who Jeffrey Epstein catered to not be involved, to not be arraigned, to not be indicted, to not be called to trial to talk about anything outside of 94 through 97. The next excellent point. The judge says, get this, Epstein victim, Virginia Giuffre. The judge told Virginia Giuffre's lawyers, destroy the Epstein files because they had come into the possession improperly. Destroy the files because they came into their possession improperly. Okay, stop right there. Let's take a look. Senior United States District Judge, female, Loretta Preska. Okay, so as an aside, I went over this a little bit earlier. I'm going to hit this up now. The mixing of gender roles, the destruction of gender identities is a top priority for the Satan-worshipping Jesuits who control Rome, who control the world. They are the ones who push the false reality that men and women are identical. There are no differences between men and women. This is exceptionally dangerous, as it has been adopted by all of the Romans running government. As a result, we have females in positions that, in general, work with me here. I'm not trying to be misogynist. Work with me. Let me get this out. in general, they are ill-equipped for. Not that they can't do it, but in general, beat cop, soldier, judge, political leader, official, in general, ill-equipped for. This is firefighter. Some of these you may not agree with me, but some of these, come on. Beat cop, soldier, wherever. I told you before. Check this out. Hold on. I've told you this before. A woman tying her hair into a bun does not become a man. Okay? You can't simply tie a woman's hair in a bun, throw on the body armor, throw an M4 in her hands, and expect her to adequately do the same job. I say the same thing about female police officers. A woman, particularly as a soldier or as a cop, needs to present the aura and appearance of authority and control. There absolutely are roles that women can do, even in the military and in law enforcement, but not under the false reality, this pretending that they're no different than a man in their capabilities. Okay, so that's problem number one. But far more important in this issue, I will take a sharp female who isn't corrupt and who doesn't work for Rome as a judge in a heartbeat. But that is not what we have with Loretta Preska, senior United States District Judge, the Southern District of New York. And you see this education down here? Roman Catholic College of St. Rose, and learned her law, air quotes, learned her law from the Jesuits at Fordham. An absolute despicable, corrupt individual. This female herself needs to be doing the perp walk. This female needs to be arrested, take her off the bench, put her in front of the bench. Orders the Epstein victim, Virginia Giuffre, to destroy their evidence. Destroy the evidence. As a quick aside, let me mention this. This is the Jesuit perversion. I've talked about this before. The Jesuit extreme perversion of justice. This idea that if evidence against the accused is improperly collected, the evidence is null and void and the accused goes off scot-free. What kind of twisted, perverted Jesuit Roman Catholic logic is that? In a real society where there is justice, where there is real justice, in a civil society, an honest, uncorrupt civil society, not run by Rome, where there is real justice. Here's how Johnny does it in the kingdom of Johnny, where there's going to be real justice. So you have someone, maybe a law enforcement officer, who collected evidence illegally that does not abrogate the evidence. Take and use the evidence. Now charge the officer for what they did wrong and have it be commensurate with the crime. What is the punishment? We don't even know. What's the punishment for breaking someone's rights, their Fifth Amendment rights, their constitutional rights in general? There probably are no real punishments for it. But in Johnny's society, there would be appropriate. So imagine the dichotomy. Imagine how this would play out in a real society that wasn't corrupt. Would a cop be willing to undergo that level of punishment because they wanted to get somebody really bad? I'll bet you there would be. In Johnny's society, there would be. Guess what? It doesn't end there with Jesuit-trained female judge Loretta Preska. She also, back in January, made those same files. She sealed them. When this got started back in January, she sealed them. 6 months later, she's now demanding they be destroyed. Learned by the Jesuits, learned law from the Jesuits at Fordham, which is, by the way, where Trump went, which is where John O. Brennan, CIA director, the drone executioning murderer, he went to Fordham. Long list of alumni. Puppet, pulling the strings. And one more thing, we'll finish on this. Speaking of Trump. Okay, so Trump, Eric Trump, Little Trump, tweeted this. This is Eric Trump. Pause. Eric Trump, who did all 4 years at Georgetown and is a member of the board of directors of the McDonough School of Business at Georgetown. That's Eric Trump. Tweeted, birds of a feather, pointing out that Ghislaine Maxwell was their front and center for Chelsea Clinton's wedding. Hey, pretty valid, with the exception that Daddy is a good friend. Is a good friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Daddy and his presidential model, Melania, stepmom, good Roman Catholic that she is, East Europe Roman Catholic. So, surprise, surprise, Eric decided not to stick to his guns and took it down. Okay, so excellent work. Excellent work. I'll have all this in the about. Excellent work by my friend Judith. Johnny's going to take it to the next level. If you look at another thing that Judith mentioned, excellent point, Judith, that the FBI knew where Ghislaine Maxwell was the entire time. There was no search for her. They knew where she was. She was buying property, for crying out loud. She said buying property in Vermont. They knew where she was the entire time. This is all 100% a show. And whether or not, Judith, I don't know if you picked up on this, the show is meant to put the spotlight. You put an article up there showing Epstein's connection to the Mossad. That's exactly what they want you to see. They want you to think it's the Jews. It's the Jews. Jews, like Jesuit trained, probably. She went to 2 schools. 2 Roman Catholic schools, one of them Jesuit. What are the chances that Loretta Preska is herself Roman Catholic? Excellent chances. Excellent chances. Oh my goodness. She's the editor-in-chief of the Fordham Law Review. That just bumps it up even further. Oh wait, pardon me. That's Preska married Thomas Cavalier, whom she attended law school with at Fordham. He is the editor-in-chief of the Fordham Law Review, so chances are excellent that Cavalier himself is Roman Catholic. I'm sure they had a good Catholic wedding. This. Hey, sports fans, I'm going to try and splice this in before I upload my report because it's a good addendum to what we talked about earlier. What I talked about just a few minutes ago. There's no we. In 2012, this Jesuit-trained female judge, Loretta Preska, was the judge. I don't know how much of this remember Strat 4, a Blackwater military industrial company. There was an email leak, an email hack, and all kinds of sensitive information got out about the banks and the war profiteers. A big name that came up was Jeremy Hammond, working in between WikiLeaks and Anonymous. Only rarely does anything of value come from those enterprises. Well, who was the judge in this case? Jesuit-trained Loretta Preska. And she was hammering. Jeremy Hammond, not in this case, but in Jeremy Hammond's bail, came up for bail, and he was denied bail by Judge Et Preska. Well, Hammond's defense attorneys found something out. Thomas Cavler, who I told you about, Jesuit trained, they met together at Fordham Law. Thomas Cavler was a partner at Cahill, Gordon, and Reindel. Cahill, Gordon, and Reindel. Is Reindel Jewish and Cahill Catholic? Well, there it is right there. There it is right there. And some of Thomas Cavler's emails were in the Strat 4 hack leak. Do you think there was a conflict of interest here? Do you think that she should not have been a part? Do you think that she should not have no business being the ruling authority over what happens to Jeremy Hammond? The defense attorneys demanded that she recuse herself. She absolutely refused and gave Hammond the maximum of 10 years in prison and got away with it because she's a Jesuit-trained Roman Catholic. This is the insurgency. This is the insurgency, and it ain't Jewish. It ain't Mossad. It ain't Israel. It ain't Zionists. It's Rome. And it's time to rip the great whore off the beast she's been riding. Tear her to shreds and burn her with fire.